I'm Liyanna Hassanel, and you are tuning into Nightline, news making the headlines. Investment growth due to political stability, clear economic policies, says Prime Minister. And Datuk Sri Johari questions government screening process of businesses in 170 billion ringgit deals with China. Good morning. Political stability as well as economic policies that are clear and encouraging to investors have led to stronger investments in various economic sectors in the first quarter of 2023. Prime Minister Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim said approved investments for the first quarter of 2023 totaled 71.4 billion ringgit, a 60% increase from the 44.7 billion ringgit recorded in the first quarter of 2022.
Ekonomi Malaysia mencatat pertumbuhan 5.6% pada suku pertama. Ini lebih tinggi dari Indonesia 5%, China 4.5% dan Vietnam 3.3%. Ini juga lebih kukuh daripada unjuran Bank Negara sebelumnya.
The Prime Minister said this during a question and answer session in the Dewan Rakyat in reply to supplementary questions from Larut MP Datuk Sri Hamzah Zainuddin and Bagan MP Lim Guan Eng on investor confidence and Malaysia's key economic policies. Datuk Sri Anwar, who is also Finance Minister, stressed that if the economic policies were confusing, Malaysia's economic growth would not have outpaced those of Indonesia, Vietnam and China. In addition, he said the confidence in the government's economic management is also proven by credit rating agencies Fitch Ratings and Moody's Investors Services affirmation of Malaysia's sovereign credit ratings. Meanwhile, answering Datuk Sri Hamzah's inquiry about new and drastic policies that have been implemented to boost Malaysia's economy, Datuk Sri Anwar said individuals earning more than the average salary or those who fall under the T20 income group will no longer receive subsidies pertaining to electricity or Hajj. The Prime Minister said the government will coordinate the distribution of subsidies according to income groups through the implementation of the Household Socio-Economic Database, known as Pangkalan Data Utama or PADU, which is expected to be completed by the end of the year.
Pemberian subsidi yang lebih bersasar yang juga menjadi isu, kita tidak naikkan kadar elektrik melainkan untuk T20. Saya nak jelaskan di sini. Untuk T20 sahaja, iaitu rumah-rumah besar yang tidak akan diberi subsidi elektrik. Dan pangkalan data utama PADU akan dapat menyelaraskan semua angka-angka yang disebut. Ini sama saja seperti mana bantuan kewangan haji kepada B40 kita tambah.
He added that to curb leakages, the government has initiated targeted electricity tariff in the first half of 2023 to maintain the tariff for households, small and medium-sized enterprises, SMEs, and agricultural producers, while households with high electricity consumption would no longer enjoy government subsidies. Economists Nightline spoke to agreed that the move to implement targeted subsidies should be rolled out soon to reduce financial constraints of the government.
If you focus the subsidy removal for the T20 group in households, that will save almost 2 billion ringgit. And if you focus the subsidy reform for the highest commercial and industrial users, that again will raise almost 2 billion in the industrial sector. So the total saving can be almost as much as 4 billion ringgit. Now, for large industrial users, 97% of all companies would be unaffected by that change. And for households, if you targeted the highest electricity users, actually that would only affect around 10 or 11% of households. So almost as many as 90% of all households wouldn't be affected by any changes in removal of subsidies for high users in households.
The Prime Minister's announcement showed that the government is committed to make sure that any form of assistance and subsidies will be more targeted, and this will ensure that its financial resources will continue to be optimized.
The government is committed to ensure that any forms of assistance, subsidies will be more targeted, and this will ensure that government financial resources will continue to be optimized. At the same time, the government is trying level best to ensure that any forms of wastages will be reduced, and there will be more funds to be directed towards addressing the cost of living among the M40 and B40 income cohort. So I think that's the main message, and that's I think can be deemed as something that is positive for the economy, as the government is trying to reorganize their priorities.
Sharing the same sentiment, the Federation of Malaysian Consumer Associations, FOMCA, meanwhile said that the Prime Minister's announcement meant that such move will effectively assist the B40 and M40 income group in managing their cost of living and alleviating financial burdens.
These are the groups are very vulnerable right now, especially after the pandemic. We are recovering, but certain groups, they are badly affected by the pandemic, and they are trying to float in the current economics. So definitely more targeted subsidies for this kind of groups will be very helpful. We are slowly recovering, and we've been seeing this OPR has been gradually increased, and this shows that the economic is slowly recovering. And of course, one of the big issues in our country is subsidies is been given for everyone. So by having more targeted subsidies, the government can save a lot of money, and of course whatever saved from these subsidies can be used to plan for more good infrastructures for people, such as hospitals, public transport, schools, and so on. So this indirectly will boost up our economic, and also build in international level, will be building up confidence of foreign direct investors.
However, FOMCA stressed that careful and comprehensive study on the use of the main database, PADU, is crucial to ensure its effectiveness, transparency, and fairness in reaching the intended group.
One of the concern of FOMCA, whoever is going to manage this PADU, the main database for targeted subsidies, it should be coordinated by professionals which have a very neutral background, and always remember that you should promote inclusivity and fairness, so that all those who deserve subsidies, they are the one who should get the subsidies.
Titiwangsa MP Datuk Sri Johari Abdul Ghani has called on the government to explain how companies without a proper track record were allowed to sign Memoranda of Understanding (MOUs) with Chinese corporations during Prime Minister Datuk Sri Anwar's visit there recently. In the Dewan Rakyat on Monday, the former second Finance Minister asked the Investment Trade and Industry Ministry (MITI) and the Malaysian Investment Development Authority (MIDA) to explain the screening process, which saw such companies selected, resulting in the signing of 19 MOUs between local and Chinese companies worth around 170 billion ringgit.
Apa yang saya nak tanya ni ialah baru-baru ini Perdana Menteri ada membuat lawatan ke China dengan menyaksikan 19 MOU yang ditandatangani oleh syarikat-syarikat tempatan dan juga syarikat China yang berjumlah estimate 170 bilion. Soalan saya, adakah MITI ataupun MIDA telah vetting through syarikat-syarikat ini sebelum membawa Perdana Menteri untuk menyaksikan menandatangani MOU tersebut?
Meanwhile, in his reply, Deputy Investment Trade and Industry Minister Liu Chin-tong said all companies involved had gone through a stringent screening process, with MIDA also conducting the necessary background checks.
Untuk masa depan sebenarnya kerajaan dipandu oleh dasar pelaburan baharu ataupun National Investment Policy, iaitu 5 kriteria. Kriteria yang kita menerima pelabur asing ialah ataupun pelaburan apa saja ialah untuk meningkatkan kompleksiti ekonomi kita, untuk menjanakan pekerjaan bernilai tinggi dan juga pendapatan tinggi, memperluas rangkaian domestik dan juga mewujudkan kluster ekonomi baru dan tambahan kepada apa yang sedia ada dan juga meningkatkan inklusiviti.
Liu added that a committee and MIDA would oversee the 170 billion ringgit worth of investments to ensure they were carried out accordingly. The Dewan Rakyat on Monday has passed the Penal Code Amendment Bill 2023 to decriminalise attempted suicide. The bill was approved unanimously in a voice vote after being discussed by the members of Parliament's MPs. Earlier Deputy Minister in the Prime Minister's Department for Law and Institutional Reform, Ram Karpal Singh, said that the removal of Section 309 of the Penal Code would be a significant shift in Malaysia's approach to mental health and the legal treatment of self-harm. It would also eliminate the stigma associated with suicide attempts, thereby reducing the suicide rate. During his winding-up speech, he pointed out that the Section 309 of Act 574 should be abolished to shift the approach to suicide attempts from a punitive measure to a medical treatment-based approach. However, the offences Section 305 and 306 of Act 574 would be retained as an offence. This year's Langkawi International Maritime and Aerospace Exhibition, Lima 2023, is expected to be able to generate businesses pledges of up to 18 billion ringgit. Defence Minister Datuk Sri Muhammad Hassan said the bulk of the deals would involve the Defence Ministry at just over 10 billion ringgit, while the remainder would be spread among various ministries, chief among them the Transport Ministry.
Di peringkat Defence, Minister of Defence, 10 bilion lebih itu akan kita tandatangani, termasuklah LCA dan kita akan buat kerana kita itu baru letter of intent, now LOA, untuk kita memutamatkan nanti dengan kita punya agreement. Agreement tu maknanya untuk kita punya term and condition saja, tetapi LOA itu dah sekiranya dah macam agreement dah, ya. Dan mereka boleh memulakan membuatnya, dan beberapa lagi perolehan yang telah pun dipersetujui macam contracting just now, kita akan buat angka dan yang lain-lain. Kita akan menandatanganinya untuk memutamatkan perolehan itu.
He said this at a media conference after inspecting the Lima 23 Maritime Segment Exhibition site at Resort World Langkawi on Monday. According to Datuk Sri Muhammad, the participation of Lima 23 is very encouraging and provides an opportunity for local and foreign companies from various countries to showcase technology and weapons as well as assets. It includes participation from 5 countries known for air shows, namely Russia, Thailand, Indonesia, South Korea, and the United Arab Emirates. There are 119 static and aerobatic airplanes and 40 sea vessels, including Malaysian vessels, that will be exhibited for public viewing, as well as from other countries. Last held 4 years ago, Lima 23 returned to steal the spotlight with the 16th edition involving approximately 1,200 local and foreign companies at the exhibition, thus making this event the largest ever held. Datuk Sri Sarani Muhammad has dismissed speculation of a move to topple his administration. The Perak Menteri Besar said the state government is not only strong and stable, but it's getting stronger, driven by the spirit of togetherness, responsibility and determination, including to succeed in every agenda outlined in the 2030 Perak Sejahtera Plan.
Bila digambarkan keadaan negeri yang tidak stabil, digambarkan ada kemungkinan bertukar kerajaan, tak ada pelabur yang akan datang ke negeri Perak. Sebab kerajaan yang flip-flop, pertukaran pemimpin yang akan menyebabkan pertukaran polisi.
He was commenting on media reports about Perak opposition leader Razman Zakaria, who claimed that a number of assemblymen had met him, leading to rumors that there was a movement to topple the state government. Datuk Sri Sarani added that any talk by assemblymen about toppling the state government will cause uncertainty about Perak's future, as it is now focusing on bringing big investors to the state. He stressed that the statement was intentionally made to create the perception of instability within the state government.
Thailand alliance signs pact aimed at ambitious reforms. News from the foreign front when we return. Led by Thailand's Progressive Move Forward Party on Monday, signed an ambitious agreement to draft a new constitution and monopolies and allow same-sex marriage, among other aims, but made no mention of a divisive royal insult law. The party leader, Pita Lim Jaron Rat, said that all 6 parties in the alliance can propose their own policies, but must not go against the idea of shared values and commonalities and shared agenda and accountability. The signing took place on the 9th anniversary of a military coup against a democratically elected government, which began a phase of military rule that the winners of the May 14th poll hope to end. The Move Forward and Phua Thai parties dominated last week's election in a resounding defeat over conservative parties backed by the royalist military. East Timor independence hero Xanana Gusmau's party was leading with 2/3 of votes counted in a parliamentary election on Monday, heralding a possible return to power for the former rebel after nearly a decade in opposition. According to the Election Commission data, with nearly 70% of ballots counted, the National Congress for Timorese Reconstruction, CNRT, had about 40% of votes. The ruling Revolutionary Front for an Independent Timor-Leste, Fretilin, which leads a 4-party coalition, backing the incumbent Prime Minister Taur Matan Ruak, had about 27% of votes. 15 other parties were contesting the poll, though none had more than 10% of votes as of Monday. Sunday's election is a battle for the premiership between Gusmau and Mari Al-Khatiri, another resistance-era figure from the ruling party. After competing in the SEA Games and Sudirman Cup, the Malaysian shuttlers will return to court again on Tuesday for the 2023 Pro 2 Malaysia Masters. Top shuttlers, including national favourite Lee Zijia, are expected to grace the event to secure points to qualify to the 2024 Olympics. Adrina Lee has the details.
Lee Zijia, shoes, flick serve.
The roar of anticipation from Malaysian fans is what we can expect on Tuesday at the 2023 Pro 2 Malaysia Masters, with badminton fans eagering to witness fierce battles of top shuttlers on court. Dubbed as one of the nation's largest badminton tournaments, the event will take place at the Axiata Arena Bukit Jalil from May 23rd until 28th. The tournament will be a crucial event for all shuttlers, as it will also be the second World Tour tournament to offer Olympic qualifying points and the qualification pathway to the 2024 Paris Olympics. Besides offering Olympic ranking points, over 300 world-class shuttlers will fight to bring home a cash prize of $420,000 or 1.9 million ringgit. Among the top-seeded national shuttlers that we are looking forward to see in the tournament include world number 8, Lee Zijia, who recently regained his momentum. The world number 8 produced another solid performance to beat world number 5, Chou Tianchen from Taiwan, and India's Kidambi Srikanth at the recently concluded Sudirman Cup in Suzhou, China. Reigning men's doubles world champions Aaron Chia and So Wei-Yik are also scheduled to participate, as well as last year's French Open women's doubles champions Buletin and Pina. The men's singles event will include competitors such as Ng Ziyong, Cham Jun Wei and others, while Goh Jin Wei, who defeated Indian former world champion PV Sindhu in the Sudirman Cup, will compete in the women's singles category. Meanwhile, independent pair Teo Yi and Ong Yu Sin, along with 7 other pairs, will participate in the men's doubles division, while Goh Sun Huat and Siobhan Lai Jamie will participate in the mixed doubles category. On top of that, the tournament will also feature seeded players such as reigning world and Olympic champion Victor Axelsen from Denmark. However, fans expecting to see Axelsen at this week's Malaysia Masters will be disappointed as he will miss the tournament after sustaining a left hamstring strain during the quarter-final tie with Lee Zijia in the Sudirman Cup. Joining the list are defending champions Indonesia's Chico Aradi Wardoyo, as well as the pair of Fajar Alfian and Muhammad Rian Ardianto. This Pro 2 Malaysian Masters will be the best platform for all national shuttlers to regain their momentum and make Malaysia proud again after an inconsistent performance since the beginning of 2023. It will also act as a moral booster en route to qualifying for the 2024 Olympics. To all badminton enthusiasts, let's throng the Axiata Arena and show our support to our national heroes. Adrina Lee for Nightline, TV3.
Turning to tennis now, the Italian Open. Daniil Medvedev defeated Holger Rune in straight sets to clinch his first ATP Tour clay court title. After rain delayed the start of play, a match of fine margins followed, with Medvedev breaking late to seal the opening set 7-5, before having the fight from an early break to take the second, with the same scoreline and title home in Italy's capital. The win at the Masters 1000 event means he will move up to second in the world rankings ahead of Roland Garros, splitting Carlos Alcaraz and Novak Djokovic, and can only meet either of the pair in the final. Coming up after the break, nearly 7 million cigarettes worth 4.6 million ringgit seized. Don't go away. Kelantan, the Custom Department seized 6.9 million sticks of cigarettes worth about 4.6 million ringgit in 3 separate operations in the state recently. State Customs Director Wan Jamal Abdul Salam Wan Long said a man was arrested in the operations which were carried out on May 18th and 20th in Gua Musang and Tumpat. In the first raid in Gua Musang, the customs officers seized 4.9 million sticks of cigarettes packed inside 494 boxes. Also detained was the 42-year-old man for possession of the cigarettes. Initial investigation found that the suspect confessed to receiving a certain amount of payment for transporting the lorry after exchanging with another driver from Kuala Lumpur. It was believed that the cigarettes were smuggled into Kelantan through a neighboring country, using boats to transport them via the sea and the Golok River. The second and third raids that were conducted in Tumpat resulted in the seizure of 2 lorries containing 10,250 cartons of illicit cigarettes. All 3 cases were believed to be linked to separate international syndicates and have been under surveillance by the Customs Department for 2 weeks based on public information. The probe is being conducted under the Customs Act 1967. A fishmonger's trick of stashing drugs in his luxury car and bungalow were exposed when he was arrested in a police operation in Kuala Lumpur on Monday. Kuala Lumpur Police Chief Datuk Shuhaili Muhammad Zain said they also seized 77 kilograms of Aramin 5 and ecstasy pills worth an estimated 3.2 million ringgit from the 41-year-old man. In the first raid, the police arrested the man at a condominium in Selayang and found 10 ecstasy pills hidden in his sling bag. Interrogation of the suspect led the police to a Mercedes-Benz believed to be owned by him at the condominium parking lot and found 20 kilograms of Aramin 5 and ecstasy pills hidden in the car bonnet. Police stated that the suspect also brought the police to a bungalow in Batu Caves here that acted as the drug stash. A search of the bungalow revealed 57 kilograms of Aramin 5 pills that was obtained from a neighboring country, and the suspect has been actively trafficking the pills around the Klang Valley using runners. He said seizures totaling 3.6 million ringgit were made, including cash totaling 21,000 ringgit, 2 luxury cars, and an MVP worth an estimated 390,000 ringgit. The suspect has been remanded for 7 days till May 25th, and the case is being investigated under the Dangerous Drugs Act 1952. Nightline draws to a close this time around. Let's take a look at perhaps the last Aidilfitri open house for this year. Organised by the Persiaran Mahogany Neighbourhood Association, the event saw hundreds of people from different races, including Bukit Lanjan Assemblywoman Elizabeth Wang, thronged the community hall to enjoy Aidilfitri dishes and performances. I'm Liyanna Hassanel. Thank you for tuning in and take care, Malaysia.